A battle of wits, a test of resilience, and a whole lot of fun. Welcome to the best special event of 1989, the iRacing Road America 500. Welcome to a very special week of the iRacing IMSA Vintage Series. This event guide is brought to you by Vice Classic Racing, the home of Kamel GT, and Emo's Track Guides, the best looking track guide maker in the industry. The Road America 500 is a 500-mile endurance race featuring two classes of car, the GTPs and the GTOs. The race will span around 4 hours, that includes qualifying, with around 124 laps for the GTPs and 109 laps for the GTOs. The track itself is a long-time endurance racing classic, with the Road America 500 running since 1950. It's 4 miles long with 14 turns of all kinds and features an array of elevation changes, American racing at its finest. Let's have a look at the cars taking part. Weighing just 2,100 pounds, the Nissan GTP ZX Turbo is one of the most brutally fast GTP cars to ever exist. Boasting 800 brake horsepower from its fully turbocharged V6, this mid-engine rear-wheel drive beast reaches almost 200 miles per hour with ease. The winged silhouette ensures a massive amount of downforce for high-speed maneuvers, but watch out for the slow stuff as it gets a little sketchy. The Audi 90 GTO is a turbo-powered cruise missile with the aerodynamic efficiency of a brick. Weighing 2,600 pounds, it outputs a huge 700 brake horsepower from its front-mounted, inline, 5-cylinder turbocharged engine. Despite its looks, it can reach up to 190 miles per hour in a straight line. And with the Quattro all-wheel drive system, grip is no issue either. Just beware of that understeer. So, on board for a lap here with this season's Circuit of the Americas broadcast race winner, Eric Neef. We're flying down the long pit straight. It's a great place for overtaking opportunities. Into turn 1, hugging the inside curb so it can be flat on exit, using some runoff but avoiding the grass. Down into turn 2, look for the line on the track as a brake marker, keep it tight, and again using as much runoff as possible. It's crucial to get a good exit onto the second straight, an easy and common place for multi-class passing. With the draft, you will often have to pick your line wisely here, as the downhill into turn 5 can be a battle of late braking, and it's quite easy to get it wrong. Uphill into turn 6 now, the car can get real squirrely braking for the apex, so be very gentle and get it turned in early. Audis will often outdrag you here too. It's not an easy pass. Turn 7 is a small lift, make sure your line hugs the inside curves tightly. Downhill again, depending on how turn 7 went, you may find some overtaking here. Be wary of the grass on the right side before the curb as you can often clip it, quickly jumping over to the left of the track to set up for the long carousel. Keep it in a higher gear and lift, feathering the throttle to carry speed through, but try not to scrub your tires. You can pass Audis around the outside here with your downforce, but be wary as the line can be wide. Into the kink, a corner flat for Nissan, but very treacherous for Audis. Be extremely cautious and be patient if you have one in front. Onto the winding back straight, it gets narrow here as the Audi understeers everywhere, so be careful which line you pick. Heavy braking for Canada corner, a very slow corner, but you can use all of the paved runoff quite easily. And uphill again into turn 13, a very small lift for the apex. Try not to run too wide or you'll upset the car. Over to the left again for the final corner, quite a tricky one to get right, as it requires some commitment and you need to carry all the speed possible to get you back onto the pit straight. Coming up is a lap in the Audi 90. I highly recommend you watch it, as it's a very different experience and you'll have to deal with them in the race. Here with Mickey Friesen, the current GTO championship leader. Leading into turn 1, brake moderately and brake early, trailing through the corner to get the car turned in enough before you touch the throttle. Keeping it left for the downhill, look for the second track line as a marker. Down to second gear, again throttling out just enough to use some of the runoff. Onto the second long straight, be very mindful of traffic coming up behind you as they'll be trying to pass at high speeds. The draft has a massive effect from seconds back and can easily help set up for a move into turn 5. On the downhill, you want to brake early and brake hard, using as much of the track as possible on the outside and the inside to help widen the corner, ensuring a fast exit uphill to turn 6. Brake earlier than you expect here as it's easy to lock the fronts, aiming at the apex early and aiming for a quick transition to the left side for turn 7. A big lift, hugging the apex and setting it wide, you may be able to make a pass into turn 8 if you get a better exit. The same again, hug the apex and get over to the left side early to set up for the carousel. A long winding corner, you'll be fighting the understeer, but keep it tight and the inside line whilst feathering the throttle for speed. Nissans will pass you around the outside with ease here, just be wary when you exit wide. Heading into the kink, the highest chance of your demise, you'll have to brake early on entry and get the car turned in to the inside curb. Back on the gas just in time to nibble the outside curb. This long back straight is narrow, so be very wary of your line as Nissans will be flying through, but it is another great drafting zone. Braking hard and early for Canada corner, again it's all about keeping it tight to the apex and throttling to use every extremity of the track. Turn 13 is a big lift, carrying the speed through to the entry of 14, the final corner, and you'll have to balance the car through the corner, carrying everything you can back onto the main straight. And that'll be a full lap of Road America for the 500. If you missed the Nissan lap, I highly recommend you rewind and watch it so you can see the speeds and lines of different corners and what to expect in multi-class situations. Thank you for watching this IMSA Vintage Series track guide. If you need setups, tips, and tricks, check out kamelgt.com and join the Discord for the latest updates. Stay subscribed for more IMSA Vintage broadcasts and goodness, and we'll see you next week.